To date, there are approximately 2.5 million invasive feral hogs in Texas. Damage of up to $2.5 billion tops the list of damage caused by wild boars in the United States. Texas farmers have used a variety of traps to deal with millions of invasive feral hogs. This is a specific video. Please interact with us by commenting in the chat box below. Say hi. Since the 16th century, wild boars were introduced to the United States and quickly became a serious problem in this region. Their vigorous fertility has caused extensive damage to the natural environment, making their control a priority for the farming community and environmental researchers. They cause significant damage to the forest environment by eating young trees and burrowing in the soil. In the 18th century to the 20th centuries, Texas farmers used pitfall traps to deal with feral hog populations. This is one of the traps invented and considered the most effective trap at that time. The process of setting a pitfall trap requires finesse and techniques and involves digging a hole about 2 feet deep, placing bait around the hole, and placing a delicate trap at the hole's entrance. You can use fragrant water baits to attract wild boars as well. When wild boars pass through the hole, the trap activates and quickly captures them. Although pitfall traps are an effective solution, but they can also cause risks of injuries to wild boars. On the other hand, the result of using pitfall traps has been a significant reduction in feral hog numbers in Texas. Although the problem has not been completely resolved, pitfall traps have played an important role in controlling their overpopulation. The wild boar net traps are a brilliant innovation that came out of Texas A&M University in 2005, designed to be effective and humane. They are a remarkable solution for minimizing negative impacts. Extremely harmful to the environment and wild boars, a large net is placed over the area where wild boars are likely to appear, creating a flexible structure that can adapt to a variety of terrains. What's special is that the rope is connected to a net pulled from a distant location, creating an ideal opportunity to effectively capture wild boars. When a wild boar enters the area, the system automatically activates, causing the net to be pulled down and quickly secure the animal. This helps in minimizing the risk of injury to wild boars and also increases the likelihood of successful capture. People use wooden or metal posts to create a fixed frame. High-quality barbed wire mesh or nylon mesh is used to cover this frame, and mesh edges are pinned tightly to the inside of the frame. The entrance of the trap is about 12 inches wide enough for feral pigs to move around. So when the wild boars get in, the net holds will prevent them from getting out. The typical height of an erect net trap is approximately 6 feet. This is designed to prevent wild boars that may try to escape the trap by jumping up or over it. Normally, each trap is capable of catching from 5 to 10 wild boars in one operation. This method has been successfully implemented in Texas and many other states across the United States to reduce devastating feral pig populations. These traps, after being placed in the forest for a period of time, are acquired and placed elsewhere to catch wild boars. The mesh frames will be firmly pinned to withstand the strength of wild boars. After being repaired, the cage trap will be moved to the area where there are signs of wild boars' presence. To activate this trap, the trap door will be pulled up and tied to the inside of the trap. Inside the trap cage will be spread a layer of soil. After being covered, a layer of corn, kernels, and wild boar's bait will be spread. Some tree branches will be placed around the trap so that the wild boars cannot detect the trap. Wait until overnight, and then you can harvest wild boars. In addition, Texas have invented larger sized trap doors to be able to catch herds of wild boars moving at night. The trap door is a special feature of this trap. The door is tied tightly at the top and lies diagonally to the ground. A wild boar entering from under the door will not be able to escape. This trap is quite simple. However, it can catch about 20 wild boars in one trap. Similar to the design of this trap cage, the trap has a fairly simple structure. The trees that hold the cage in place and withstand the strength of the wild boars are of quite good quality. The poles will be pinned to the ground about 2 feet. These nets will be tied tightly to the poles. The exit entrance will be located at the edge of the trap frame. In addition to this type of door, trap doors can be designed to catch wild boars. Are there any other traps that you know about when it comes to dealing with large wild boars population? If so, please feel free to leave all your comments down below in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this video so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications bell. For now, let's learn about other measures to deal with invasive wild boars in other areas.
Wild boar, a large mammal, are becoming a serious problem in Canada, causing significant damage to both the environment and the country's economy. According to estimates by Agriculture Canada, wild boars causes economic losses of up to $1 billion each year. One of the biggest problems wild boar face in Canada is damage to crops. They are omnivorous, often invasive, and eat many important crops, including wheat, corn, soybeans, and vegetables. According to estimates, wild boars destroy about 1 million hectares of crops each year. In addition, wild boars also cause serious damage to the ecosystem. They dig in the ground, destroying the habitat of other animals, and can be hosts to infectious diseases, threatening both humans and the wildlife. The increase in the wild boar populations has created a dangerous state for the natural ecosystem. Not only that, but wild boars also have the potential to cause damage to the tourism industry. They can become a risk for tourists and visitors, making them concerned about their safety when participating in outdoor activities. The Canadian government has taken many measures to control the wild boar population: hunting, trapping, and building fences. However, these measures are still not effective enough to prevent the increase of wild boars. For example, in 2022, they caused damage of up to $20 million USD when destroying 100,000 hectares of crops in the province of Manitoba. In 2021, a cattle farm in the province of Alberta was attacked, injuring 20 cows and one cow not surviving. And in 2020, wild boars even attacked a campsite in the province of Ontario, injuring one person. The Canadian government is continuing efforts to control wild boar populations to reduce economic losses and protect the environment. However, this problem is still requiring greater attention and efforts from both society and government agencies to find more effective solutions in wild boar management in Canada. With their omnivorous ability and strong adaptability, they cause significant damage. Therefore, to solve this problem, we need to apply a series of effective measures. One of the biggest problems wild boars causes is encroachment of food resources. They eat everything from crops to fruit and small animals. Therefore, reducing food resources for them is an important measure to control wild boar populations. This can be done by protecting growing areas and harvesting crops early to avoid their destruction. The agricultural products that they like to eat may be harvested earlier than expected. In addition, propaganda about the harmful effects of wild boars on the environment and economy is also an important part of the control strategy. Raising people's awareness of the situation and how to prevent their intrusion can help create initiative in protecting the environment. However, to solve this problem comprehensively, research and development of more effective wild boar control measures, especially biological measures, are needed. Understanding the behavior and ecology of the species will help us design more effective control measures. In addition to the measures mentioned above, additional measures are needed to deal with wild boars. Increasing patrols and controlling areas at risk of their intrusion is the way to prevent the spread of wild boars. At the same time, strong monitoring to detect wild boar herds early, and that has to be applied in residential areas, applying the practice of planting plants that are unpleasant to wild boars is a smart strategy to ensure community safety. By planting plants that are unpleasant to wild boars, we create an unfamiliar zone for them. This may include the use of plants with strong aromas or flavors. This is not only a simple measure, but also an effective measure in preventing the intrusion of wild boars into human habitation areas. However, it is also important to note that the tree planting is only one part of the overall strategy. In addition, cleaning up trash and food is important to avoid attracting wild boars near habitats. Wild boars have the ability to detect food easily, and leaving waste or leftover food can cause them to approach their habitat. Use areas to build closed garbage houses. Collect and treat waste as soon as possible, after the day of disposal. Finally, propaganda and notification of the harmful effects of wild boars to local communities plays an important role in creating awareness and participation of people in protecting the environment from species invasion. This propaganda and education activities can help communities know how to deal with wild boars and make their living environments safer. So, do you know any better solutions to deal with wild boars? Please comment below in the comment section to let us know, as this will truly help everyone if they're facing such a problem. Feral pigs are a serious problem in the United States, causing damage to the agriculture and the environment. According to estimates by the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, feral pigs cause about $2.5 billion USD in damage to the agricultural industry each year. Wild pigs are omnivorous, eating anything they can find, including crops, fruit, small animals, and even garbage. They can destroy crops, pollute water sources, and transmit diseases to other animals. Wild pigs have the ability to reproduce quickly and adapt to new living environments. They can travel hundreds of miles in search of food and breeding grounds. Some crops that are not attractive to feral pigs include cabbage, kale, mustard, greens, and lettuce. Farmers can grow these crops to minimize their attraction to feral pigs. This not only reduces the risk of feral pigs entering the farm, but also helps protecting crops from their destruction. Using plants that are not attractive to feral pigs can be an important part of an overall strategy to protect farms and maintain balance in the agricultural ecosystem. In addition, using natural protection measures such as attracting other wild animals to act as natural opponents for feral pigs can also be useful. This can help reduce feral pig pressure on farms and keep the ecosystem in the area more balanced. Combining various measures can increase farm performance and ensure the sustainability of agricultural production in the future. Fences are an important part of protecting farms from feral pigs. Feral pigs can cause extensive damage to crops and agricultural facilities, and building a sturdy fence system is an effective way to keep them out. Farmers have many options for building fences. Barbed wire, steel mesh, and concrete are all popular options. The fence should be at least 6 feet high to prevent feral pigs from being able to jump over or over it. At the same time, it also needs to be buried at least 2 feet underground to prevent feral pigs from digging and entering from underground. Investing in proper fencing can help protect your farm from feral swine and ensure the safety of your crops and livestock. This is an important part of managing and protecting your agricultural farm from the challenge of the natural environment. Traps are one of the common methods placed in areas frequented by feral pigs. When a wild pig enters the trap will automatically close, capturing the animal in the trap, helping to control the number of wild pigs and minimizing damage to the farm. Bait traps are another option, often placed in areas with food for feral swine. This trap uses the smell of food to attract feral pigs and then captures them when they enter the trap. Additionally, electric traps can also be used, which use electricity to stun wild pigs. This is an effective method of controlling feral pigs. However, it needs to be carefully done to ensure operator safety. Using traps combined with other measures, such as feral pig-resistant planting and farm management, will help farmers protect their products and maintain agricultural sustainability. Hunting dogs can be used to chase feral pigs off farms. They're trained to do this job effectively and safely. Hunting dogs have great strength and tracking ability, allowing them to move quickly and chase wild pigs out of the farm areas without endangering farmers or other animals. The use of hunting dogs is a beneficial solution for maintaining security and safety on the farm, while minimizing potential between humans and wildlife. In this case, hunting is the most effective method to defeat feral pigs. However, it can also pose risks to people and environment. Hunting wild pigs sometimes requires the use of hunting equipment or other means to ensure effectiveness. However, the use of hunting equipment can pose a serious risk of accident to those participating in hunting activities, especially when carried out in areas near residential areas. Furthermore, the use of hunting equipment can also cause loud noise and disturbance, causing disturbance to the community and surrounding environment. Therefore, in managing the appearance of feral pigs, farmers need to consider the effectiveness and risks of hunting measures. At the same time, it is necessary to implement reasonable prevention and management measures to minimize the harm caused by feral pigs to farms and environment. Authorities have implemented community education programs to raise people's awareness about the harmful effects of feral pigs and feral pig control measures. However, controlling feral pigs is a complex and difficult problem. Wild pigs are intelligent and agile animals. They can adapt to new living environments and find food in hard-to-reach places. Therefore, coordination of many parties, including the government, non-governmental organizations, and people, is needed to solve this problem.
Wild boars, powerful wild animals, are capable of causing a lot of damage to crops and people's property. Wild boar attacks on crop farms in the US are becoming increasingly serious, especially in recent years, when the number of wild boars in the United States is increasing rapidly. To cope with this situation, American farmers and hunters have applied many different measures. One of the most traditional and effective measures is hunting. The hunter's skill and knowledge of how to approach and handle wild boars has played an important role in controlling wild boar numbers and reducing damage caused to farms. However, faced with the rapid increase in wild boar numbers, more effective measures are needed. In addition to hunting, a new method has been applied in some areas in the United States, which is the use of aircraft to monitor and control wild boars. This is a challenging but potentially effective measure to reduce wild boar numbers and protect crop farms. The combination of traditional measures and a new method could help the United States deal with the growing problem of wild boar attacks on agricultural farms. The first step in wild boar hunting is to hire a suitable aircraft to carry out the task. Hunters often choose between helicopters and propeller planes, each with its own advantages.
Helicopters are a popular choice due to their ability to fly lower and more flexible. They help hunters easily access hunting areas and observe wild boars from a vantage point. This aircraft is often used in areas with complex terrain and requires flexibility during hunting. Propeller aircraft. They're faster and also capable of moving quickly between hunting areas. This helps hunters to quickly deal with wild boars moving or spotted in different locations. After renting a suitable plane, the hunter gets on the plane and flies to the hunting area. Before taking off, they thoroughly check safety equipment and hunting gear to make sure everything is working properly. When arriving at the hunting area, hunters use scopes to search for wild boars. Wild boars often gather in areas with lots of food and water, such as rice fields, cornfields, or forests with streams. However, it is often easier to find wild boars in crop fields than in fairly open and dense forested areas. In rice fields, hunters have wider vision and can easily observe wild boars from afar. This is where wild boars often appear to search for food, such as corn seeds and other rice plants. When hunters notice a wild boar in the field, they can approach cautiously to shoot it. However, the most difficult situation for hunters is when they have to search for wild boars in dense forest areas or with more complex terrain. In these cases, wild boars may hide in the forest and use the terrain for cover and protection from hunting. Hunters will have to rely on their scope and observation skills to identify wild boar attacks and signs, such as tracks, feeding areas, or footprints. When a wild boar is detected, the hunter informs the pilot and together they fly to the wild boar's location. Then, the hunter uses a hunting gun to shoot down the target animal. Typically, wild boars are shot from the back of the head or the neck to ensure the kill is quick and effective. The average range of a helicopter when hunting is about 750 feet. That means the helicopter can hit targets 750 feet away. There are hunting devices that can shoot at a range of 1,000 feet. So hunting can be done in many different ways with many skills. When the wild boar is downed, the plane lands and the hunter harvests the wild boar. This may include cutting, packaging, and transporting wild boars to processing areas or the market for sale. However, it should be noted that hunting wild boar by plane has its own advantages and disadvantages. Although this method allows hunters to access areas that are difficult to reach by road and can hunt many wild boars in a short time, it also has high costs and can be dangerous for people and other animals in the area. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, in 2023,
hunters in the US will hunt about 1 million boars. However, this data may vary by time and specific region. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service estimates that currently the number of feral swines in the United States is about 1.2 million. Wild boars attacks on crop farms are occurring in many areas of the United States, especially in the eastern and southern states. The rapid increase in the number of wild boar requires the use of objective measures to control this situation, and hunting by aircraft has become a useful method in the fight against attacks by the species. What do you think about this way of hunting? Please comment below in the comment section to let us know. And for now, we invite you to continue watching this video. Hello friends, wild boars often live hidden in forests. They will go looking for food at night in groups. The food source in the forest dries up, they begin to move to swamp areas and fields. They eat insects and mud and soil. The plants they encounter are also invisible. Farmers were very concerned about this problem, and the solution that the government issued were implemented immediately. Wild boars, as wild animals, can cause a lot of damage to farms and livestock because their ability to dig in the ground, eat grass and crops, and injure livestock. To prevent wild boars from entering crop and livestock areas, safety fences have been proven to be an effective measure. Safety fences can be made from a variety of materials, including steel wire, wire mesh, electric fences, and walls. The height of these fences should be high enough to prevent wild boars from entering or jumping over it. This piece should be buried deep into the ground to prevent pigs from digging. Commonly used fences range in height from 3 to 10 feet. The fence posts will be buried about 1 foot in the soil. To ensure the effectiveness of safety fences, farmers need to use high-quality materials. Install them properly and regularly. Inspect them to detect and repair damage. By properly constructing and maintaining safety fences, farmers can help protect their property and income from wild boars. Traps are also one of the methods offered and used. Deep pit traps are the most common type of trap and are widely used to catch wild boars. Just create deep holes in areas where wild boars often appear. You can successfully catch a herd of wild boars. To use traps effectively, placing them correctly is important. You should place traps and baskets in places where wild boars often pass by to increase your chances of catching them. The bait needs to be attractive to wild boars, with common baits including corn, sweet potatoes, and meat. In particular, you need to hide the trap and basket carefully so that the wild boar does not detect it.
This may include covering them up or using other concealment techniques. Always check traps and regularly make sure they're working properly, and always be ready to catch a wild boar. The Texas State Police Department has used helicopters to hunt feral hogs in rural areas. This method has helped minimizing damage to crops and livestock. Helicopters and drones can move quickly and easily to reach places that are hard to reach. This allows authorities to hunt wild boars in areas that cannot be reached by other methods. Using helicopters and drones can help reduce the risk of injury to humans and animals. Authorities can shoot wild boars from a distance, which can help minimizing the risk of accidentally shooting another person or animal. Using helicopters and drones can help save costs for the authorities. Traditional hunting methods, such as rifle hunting, can be more expensive. These areas where wild boars can live and find food without harming farmers' crops and livestock. They can safely survive in this area without any interference from humans. Establishing conservation areas can help strike a balance between protecting wild pigs and ensuring farm safety. In addition to establishing conservation areas, managing wild boar populations in a sustainable manner is also an important part of the control strategy. Relevant organizations, together with farmers, need to ensure that wild boar populations do not overgrow, especially in areas close to farms. This may require conducting population assessments, tracking the historical growth charts of feral pigs, determining appropriate control measures such as capture or relocation of populations to conservation areas. Looking at the chart, you can also see what level the wild boar population is at. Farmers today have realized the power of technology and smart farming techniques in protecting crop and livestock areas from wild boar invasion. Using cameras to monitor crop and livestock areas has become an important tool to help farmers monitor wild boar activities in real time. Surveillance camera systems continuously record images and videos, allowing farmers to review data and detect the presence of wild boars. Some farmers also use a combination of cameras and GPS to track wild boars and identify risk areas. When the camera records the appearance of wild boars, information about location and time will be recorded via GPS. This helps to pinpoint areas requiring intervention and establish specific control measures. This not only helps minimizing damage from their invasion, but also ensures the protection of the environment and agriculture, and that maintains farmers' income sources. This is a shining example of how technology can support smart and sustainable agricultural management. What do you think about these measures? Please comment below in the comment sections to let us know. And for now, let's continue watching the rest of the video.
In the Midwest, pigs are a big problem for farmers. In 2022, pigs caused an estimated $2.5 billion in damage to crops and livestock in the Midwest. They are so numerous that they're considered invasive species. These pigs are a cross between a domestic pig and a wild boar, and they can weigh up to 700 pounds. Their destructive power is considered very terrible. Every type of crop they see is seriously destroyed. Not only is feral boar trapping an effective control measure, but it is also a method that requires careful planning and compliance with regulations. When it comes to trapping pigs, location is a key. Traps should be placed in areas where wild boars are frequent, usually places with abundant food and water sources. By choosing these prime locations, your chances of success will increase significantly. An attractive bait is very important to lure wild boars into the trap. Popular bait options include corn, cassava, or meat. The bait must be placed in a position that can lead pigs into the trap, ensuring they cannot easily access the bait from the outside. The trap must be tested regularly to ensure its functionality and prevent unintended harm to other wildlife. Regular inspection also allows for timely removal of trapped pigs. Taking these steps is necessary for an effective and humane pig trapping procedure. But it is equally important to consider the safety and legal aspects of pig trapping. Those participating in trapping should equip themselves with necessary safety equipment, including helmets, gloves, and eye protection. These precautions are important in case of unexpected situations rising during trapping. Wild boar trapping must comply with legal regulations to ensure trapping is done responsibly. Wild boars are famous for their rapid reproductive cycles. As early as 5 to 6 months of age, female pigs can begin to reproduce. Their ability to produce 2 to 3 litters per year further highlights their population growth. Each litter can have from 6 to 12 piglets. This exceptional reproductive ability makes feral pigs one of the most difficult invasive species to manage. The rapid reproduction of wild boars requires effective control methods. Hunting is the most common method used to manage wild boar populations. Farmers often hire professional hunters to patrol their farms and cull these invasive pigs. There are many types of hunting equipment that are most widely used for hunting wild boars. Although hunting is effective, it also possesses certain risks to humans. Even though that is effective in hunting, but it is not without its drawbacks. Wild pigs have become the second most destructive invasive species in the United States, and that is precisely behind rodents. In 2022, they caused about $2 billion in damage to crops and livestock. These staggering figures highlight the urgent need for comprehensive control measures. Furthermore, a study conducted by Purdue University revealed that if the wild boar population is not controlled, their numbers could double every year. This exponential growth poses a serious threat to both agriculture and ecosystems. The impacts of uncontrolled wild boar populations are far-reaching and require immediate attention. The abundant breeding patterns of feral pigs, coupled with their invasive behavior, make them a formidable challenge in the United States. While hunting remains the primary method of control, it is important to consider the economic and environmental impact of these creatures. Striking the balance between conservation and control is a complex issue that requires the collaboration of the agricultural community. Wildlife agencies and researchers develop effective, sustainable strategies to manage the threat from wild boars. Texas farmers have also implemented an important strategy to combat the relentless spread of feral hogs, using hunting dogs to chase feral hogs. This is a time-tested method that has been used effectively to reduce the number of these destructive organisms on the farm. Hunting dogs, especially large and powerful breeds, have been trained to hunt wild boars. They have the ability to effectively track and pursue wild boars, creating pressure and spreading panic in the pig population. Although this is a natural and traditional method, it continues to be used with remarkable results. However, the use of hunting dogs requires careful management. Farmers must ensure that these dogs are properly trained and do not pose a threat to humans or the livestock. This poses a series of challenges regarding the maintenance and management of hunting dog flocks. One thing is certain, the fight against feral swines in Texas calls for creativity and diversity in applying a variety of strategies. Texas farmers have shown patience and fortitude in their efforts to deal with this situation, and they will persevere in protecting their farms and the surrounding environment. Texas farmers have also applied wild boar hunting measures. This is an important part of the strategy to deal with this animal, especially in controlling wild boar numbers in farms. The development of the wild boar meat market has created opportunities for Texas farmers to not only protect their farms, but also to take advantage of the income from selling wild boar meat. However, hunting methods aren't without their own challenges. This requires professionalism and strict compliance with hunting regulations to ensure human safety and maintain the balance of the ecosystem. Technical surveillance and ensuring that feral hog numbers do not decline beyond necessary levels and are also an important part of the maintaining species that are surviving in Texas. The fight against wild boars requires flexibility and creativity from farmers, along with support from government agencies and scientists. With the challenges and opportunities that feral hogs present, Texas people are learning to live and cope with an important part of the state's ecosystem. People use wooden or metal posts to create a fixed frame. High-quality barbed wire mesh or nylon mesh is used to cover this frame, and mesh edges are pinned tightly to the inside of the frame. The entrance of the trap is about 12 inches wide enough for feral pigs to move around. So when the wild boars get in, the net holds will prevent them from getting out. The typical height of an erect net trap is approximately 6 feet. This is designed to prevent wild boars that may try to escape the trap by jumping up or over it. Normally, each trap is capable of catching from 5 to 10 wild boars in one operation. This method has been successfully implemented in Texas and many other states across the United States to reduce devastating feral pig populations. In addition to the above measures, Texas farmers have also applied measures to build fences around farm and residential areas to prevent wild boars. Fences are not only an independent physical measure, but they also play an important role in protecting rural areas from wild boar intrusions. This is a wise consideration as it creates a level of protection for both the farm and the community in the area. However, it should also be noted that fence construction requires a significant financial resource, and not all farmers have the financial means to carry it out. There is a high level of engineering and planning required to build a solid fence capable of withstanding strong attacks from wild boars. However, Texas farmers have proven their creativity in finding effective solutions. Although many challenges remain, the diversity in the application of countermeasures has shown the spirit and creativity of Texas farmers in dealing with brutal wild boar attacks on farms. Their pooling of knowledge and experience to find solutions isn't only about protecting agriculture but also about the safety and sustainability of the environment and the surrounding communities. The fight against wild boars requires solidarity and dedication from all sides. Texas farmers not only protecting their livelihoods, but are also guardians of the environment and sustainability of the entire state of Texas. Perhaps we can learn from them about their spirit of determination and ability to find solutions in difficult contexts. Are there any other measures to deal with wild boars that you know? Please comment below in the comment section if you know any of our methods.
So since these solutions have been effective in preventing the growth of colonies of some invasive species, do you believe in any other better solution? If so, Please don't forget to share your comments and opinions down below. Plus, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to support our channel with our upcoming videos. And lastly, don't forget to share this video with all your friends so that they can watch it and enjoy it as well.